My mind's got basketfuls of something.
The mind is what?
Got basketfuls of something.
Basketfuls, yes, yes. The basket is never empty, they say. And they're also saying the belly of the mind is never full. Always a bit more you can give.
Like the first woman, this is my first satsang with you.
Very good.
And I'm really grateful to be here. I almost didn't come because didn't know anything about you except my friend raved about you. And she's here as well, and she offered to pay for more than half of my the tuition or the cost of it, so I agreed to do it.
Well, that is a friend, no? Myself also, I will pay for some people to come and be here.
So I'm really grateful to her,
Very good.
and I'm grateful to be here, so thank you. Last night, during the initiation to freedom ceremony, is that what it's called?
Yes.
Yeah. My intention when I put the camphor in the fire is I said to myself many times, I said, I choose to be free of the bondage of the mind. And I know this is a very noble intention, and I really mean it, and I really want it, but there's this part of my mind that doesn't believe it. And isn't it, so I have a number of questions, but one of them about this is, isn't it the mind that's saying that? So how can the mind be free of itself? Like, so I felt confused.
Isn't it the mind that is saying, I want to be free? Please, what is the question?
Yeah,
is it the mind that's saying?
Yeah, my question is, isn't it the mind that's saying that?
Yes. Yes, let's talk a little bit about this then. Who speaks? Who wants to be free? Because somehow it is, first of all, coming back down to the sense of beingness, the feeling I am. And this feeling, it doesn't belong to any religion, any parents, any date of birth, any gender, nothing like this. It's pure consciousness. But in its manifestation in the body, it is calling itself, I am the body. And this identification, I am the body, has given rise to the feeling, this is me, I am the person. Meaning the conditioning that arose upon the feeling, I am the body. That was the root. The root concept, the mother concept, father concept is, I am this body, and then other conditioning such as, you went to school here, these are your parents, all of this can begin to build on top of that. So that is also consciousness, but it is consciousness in a more limited and restrictive uniform. And once this identity, I am the body, has somehow embedded itself, then the other beliefs can come, and consciousness seems to pour itself, hangs out in that state, in that belief, I am the body. Therefore, all the human beings are referring, transacting with each other on the basis, I am the body. And this we call our life, our existence. But truth is, we are consciousness. And spirituality means, again, to return to our original self-awareness, that we are consciousness. Because with having the identity, I'm the body, for a while the consciousness enjoys. It enjoys the sense of individuality, the sense of, you may call, privacy, like you don't know what I'm thinking, and we like this feeling, our own private world, and to be successful or fail or what, all of these things can come into play. So this is this consciousness, after a while of being in the life, following its projections, its dreams, disappointments, seeing that the universe is not fulfilling your projections. You become sometimes disappointed, or for whatever reason, there are innumerable reasons why it begins to question its existence. Who really am I? What's it all about? What am I doing here? What am I doing here? I'm not happy, or nothing seems to be reliable, or whatever it is that brings this question, stirs up an investigation or a curiosity or an urge or even a kind of urgency to find something which is more stable than its projections. This, roughly speaking, is what has been taking place. And that consciousness, in its very restricted identity, has arisen now as the seeker. Before, not seeker, not interested. Now it is seeking something, is searching for truth. Before, it was searching for the front page, so to speak, of its intention was maybe to get married and to have a lot of money and to be famous or whatever it is. But in some cases, many cases, that's failed. Sometimes it's not failed. Sometimes people are here who have made a lot of money and have done lots of things, but still something is missing. And from whatever way it comes, they are drawn to look towards, is there something more than what I have known so far? And so many people here from all over the world, something has been calling. One magnet is calling. It's really calling inwardly, but as yet we were not able to follow that voice directly. So we have taken the route to come to this place in search of peace for our mind, to come back to the original identity. You understand what I spoke there?
I do, because
Yes.
that leads to my next question, because you mentioned that, or you alluded to that yesterday morning about how the mind will sneak in behind. And I think that's, in a way, what's happened with me. I've been practicing Vipassana on and off for almost 15 years. And on the first morning, you mentioned Vipassana. I wasn't sure what your opinion about it is, but it is, a practice of observation, of being the witness.
Yes.
And so I've practiced that a lot, and I know, I can say intellectually, oh, this is just my mind, or this isn't real, and intellectually I have this belief, but at the same time my body can be reacting a certain way, like it'll be freaking out or having all these sensations, in reactions to negativity or to thoughts or to other people's actions. And I can just watch my body go through that process. But at the same time, I'm judging myself. Well, if I was really, awakened, or if I was really equanimous, then why would my body be having these reactions?
And this would be what must be identified. This one who is feeling, assessing the body's reactions and saying, but if I was, what is the identity of this one? Who is this one, is he?
Well, I know it's the mind
Yes.
doing that.
Yeah, and I, as what, knows it's the mind? Slow down, we're not in a hurry. I'm not in a hurry, because if you have asked all the questions so far, we have discarded, we have answered all of them. We've come only to this point now. It's important.
Well, when you've asked that question of other people, and when you ask that of me now, my mind or something just stops.
Yes.
And there can be a second of nothingness, but then very quickly the mind takes over again.
Takes over what?
It comes back into the forefront,
Yes.
I guess.
Yeah, but it cannot come into the forefront without being observed. Isn't it? If it comes back again, something must be prior to the arising of the mind, to notice the mind has come back.
Yes, and my mind will stop for a second, but then
Yeah.
it comes back. Like right when
Yes.
you said that, it was like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I sort of,
Yeah.
there was
But
a
there is
sense of
something else is
nothingness.
happening, is that it is being regarded as significant, that the mind comes back. Something says, but the mind should not come back.
Yes, yes.
You see?
Yes, of
and
course.
so when the mind comes back, oh no, the mind's come back. You see? So let the mind come back and let it go out and come back. What is it the concern for you? Let it be. It's not what you are. You are the weakness of it. This simple yet subtle recognition is a freedom. We're thinking that it depends on whether the mind is there or not, that determines whether you are free or not. I say, no, let the mind be there. Simply don't identify. You are the weakness of mind. So the attention is going to the mind and say, oh no, the mind is, look, it's shaking and it's disturbing me. But that's also a thought arising as mind. You are the untouched consciousness. Nothing is happening. Except if you allow your mind to say, this is happening, which it can do, and believing it. Otherwise, it can just be allowed to be a movement, as so many other movements can occur. You say, I am disturbed by it. I say, it's not true. That's not a fact. That is an option. If you say, I am disturbed by that, and believe it, then you'll believe it into existence, and then disturbance will be felt as your experience. If it comes and it's shaking like a storm, and you are just the awareness, nothing is happening. You decide.
But this is where I think that like my mind has come in behind and said, oh, that's the absolute, or that's the equanimous position or something. Like it's tricky, it's become more subtle.
Yes.
And it's tricking me. And how do I...
It's tricking you because at the moment you are trickable. You have an investment in the voice of the mind, so you listen to it. You're trying to pacify it or to reason with it or to sort of like something, and you believe its existence. So therefore it is a formidable force, because it's been whispering for a very long time, because it's got a punter, it's got something to listen to it. Because you believe that what the mind says directly is in relationship to who you are, but it is not. It's only in relationship to the idea you have of who you are. The mind is speaking to the idea you have of who you are and who you think you should be. It cannot speak to the Supreme. It cannot speak to the Self. And because there's a doubt as to what our Self is, you see, then you go for the second version, which is the extension of the Self as name and form. And mind is speaking to name and form. But if you do this, you see, so you are responding to yourself as though you are within the conditioning. This is the portrayal of yourself. It's a self-portrait of the Self as a person and personality, as an entity, which is a costume that will later become just playful. But now it seems consequential, because so much energy and belief is in that notion. And all the beings are being bitten by this delusion. Therefore, the one who has conquered this misunderstanding now says, let the mind speak. Let it do what it wants to do, but without my interest directly. If I'm not interested or identified, mine has no power. Now, which I is this? This I now is consciousness, not the person. If the person says, oh, I'm driving out the mind, he cannot do it. The mind knows, you can't do that. You can't do that. there isn't sufficient conviction in you to drive me out. You have to be consciousness to drive me out, and I'm not going to tell you you are consciousness. It's not in my interest to tell you you are consciousness. It's in my interest to keep you being a person, because then I can pester you that you need to be, you can say these things. I am not the body mind. There's nothing exists. There's only this that is, and all of this thing. You can talk this talk, but life will put to test to you to see if you have swallowed this knowledge. Because when you have swallowed it, it's not anymore something you possess. It is what you are. You must be the knowledge. You cannot just believe the knowledge. Therefore, I point you like this to confirm. But you are looking at this, all of this. Who are you who is looking? And a verbal, mental, or intellectual answer will not be enough. Because when you speak like this, your words have no power. It has verbal power, intellectual power, but it won't have the power of seeing. The power of seeing is right here with you. And when you ask a question like this, yes, I can see, I am not this. And I said, but who are you who is seeing? Only you can answer this question. But whether it comes from here or here, I will tell you if it does. And that is the important shift. Not merely that we understand that you can pass on something that you've read in a book and you've understood, you even agree with it, but that it arises out of your own immediate seeing, because only that can be counted as true. Many years, 2,000 years ago, a story has come up to this date. One friend of Jesus Christ has passed away, and he's come back, and he calls Lazarus, come out. A body in those days in tomb, already decaying, smelling not very nice, decaying, and the command, Lazarus, come out. And a body came out and walked with living life, came out. Since then, many people have been saying, Jennifer, come out. Peter, come up. Nothing happened. The words are okay, but the authority is not there. And that authority can come only from that spiritual content, that power, that force. So here also, I'm speaking with you, it's not enough that we understand, leave here with some intellectual understanding or conviction. Then I want that your understanding also is thorough. It's true, not artificial. And I don't see that I need to send you somewhere else. Here, now, here. Let's get to the bottom of it. You have done Vipassana. Vipassana is excellent training. Now let's come to the very essence of what the Vipassana is. Who is observing all these things? Who is observing all these things? Is it personal or impersonal? Does it have form or is it formless? This is to solve the riddle of your own identity, who you are.
I feel it as space.
Yes. I meaning who?
Will, your question?
Yes, yes.
Who's observing
Yes.
all of that? It's a
Yes.
space.
The space is observing. What is aware of the space?
I don't know.
And you are what? In this process of looking, you are what?
I just feel a vibration.
Vibration is also seen and felt. What is aware of vibration also? It's not the words, not answers I'm looking for. Right now, the questions are more important than the answer. Because the answer, if it comes only as answer, it's just a concept. I want you to look from your heart and look. Even vibration is still a phenomenon. I'm aware. There's a vibration. But you already are aware of vibration. So something earlier than vibration. But you must bring your entire being into this. What is left now? Even vibration is seen. The question is asked, the question is seen. And then you ask, but what sees this? And then some vibration is present now, but vibration also is seen. What remains? What remains now? Who are you? No imagination is required, no creativity is required, no. Drop every self-image. Drop every self-image. Anything from the past, any story cannot come here. It's also something discernible, some effect in memory. Memory is not it. Memory cannot function without you who knows memory. Who is looking, who perceives, what, who or what perceives. Can this perceiver be identified? Can the source of the perceiving itself be perceived? I want something.
It feels like a paradox to me. It freezes me, like it's nothing and it's everything at the same time.
Yes, it freezes who?
It freezes everything.
If it freezes everything, freezing of everything is also perceived. Feel. Mind is not enough. Feel.
I just feel like my mind won't let go.
Doesn't matter if mind won't let, it's got nothing to do with this. Don't put it in the hands of the mind.
But that's what I mean. Like I think that it's
Speak
so
in the
subtle.
microphone.
Sorry, I feel like it's like this subtle thing, like where the mind is taken over. So it
Taking
it
over
won't
what?
let go.
Mind is taken over is also just a thought.
It's taken over that observation role.
Yes, but what observes that? Don't leave it as a riddle. I'm not wanting to give you a riddle. You are before all riddles. Don't identify. You're still watching what the mind has to say, what the mind has to do. And there it's getting its power from your belief, your interest. It's nothing without you. Where is mind without you? The source of the mind itself. It is you who observe the mind, not the mind observe you. Who are you? Identify yourself if you can.
I am that.
Thank
I
you.
am that.
Say it again.
I am that.
Is there some disbelief?
Yes.
Yes.
Can I tell a story?
It's
It's a
better
quick
be
one.
very short.
Okay,
Yes.
it's very short. It's about a cougar or a lion that was in a 12 by 12 cage for, most of its adult and baby life.
No.
You know this story.
No. I want to get back to this point. What are you afraid of?
I'm afraid of losing myself.
Yes. Yes.
And I've done it before. I've had awakenings, whether naturally or through
You cannot
other
lose
medicinal.
yourself. You cannot lose yourself unless something is holding on to an idea that you want to preserve, something. And all of this is in the mind, I'm telling you. You are still here. You are, as the self, the most sane. This is one of the final tricks of the mind. I don't want to fall apart. I don't know how can I be if I say yes, if I surrender. So your yes is not yes, it's yes. It's not yes. It still has some bargaining in there. And this bargaining is causing you a lot of pain. A lot of pain.
No, and
It's
like
a
that
kind of
person
fear.
you said the other day, I'm going towards that goal, but I'm still looking back, and I'm like, oh, I love the music.
Yes,
You
that
know,
which
I
is
love-
looking back is not you. It's the idea you have of yourself.
I
And
know.
all of this looks very big and threatening because the mind still is trying everything. It's at the edge. It's at the edge and it's fighting for survival. And you are not that. The world is not going to vanish when you recognize who you are. Your family is not going to turn to dust when you realize who you are. Everything is as it is. But you are starting somewhere out as an extension. You are speaking and living like you are just an identity. And you have to put a stop to that if you wish to be free. Otherwise, you are going to spend the rest of your life in spirituality, but with a compromise. I am sorry, I have to tell you that. We've been doing it long enough. The mind only seems enormous when you are somehow in doubt and you're not sure. And I'm trying to show you that even so, you are still the one now who sees all of this. Even though I'm going to go crazy, it's not you. It's the mind is finding something that you are afraid of. You, consciousness, are afraid because of dipping your face in the waters of the mind. It's not to blame. It is something that is the fact of the play of existence. But you can come out. As long as you feel it's you who takes care of you, then the universe will appear to let you carry on like this. One must be willing to fall apart. It happened here. This is where the courage is here. The wisdom is here to tell you. Because I said yes. I walked out of my life. What it means, I don't know. Just something moved. Sometimes an action comes out of you that is not studied, is not rehearsed. It's just out of desperateness, out of complete surrender or trust. You come out of it. I took that step. Therefore, I can tell you there's nothing to be afraid of. There was so much to be afraid of before, because you are living under the jurisdiction of the influence of the mind from the past, and its role is to keep you focused on your bodily existence for a while. When you transcend him, this same mind will become a puppy. What I'm telling you, so many beings over the ages have come to this point. Many of them turn back because of fear of the mind. Fear, I'm going to lose my identity. I won't be able to carry on. I'll maybe go mad. I won't have any power, no self-control. I won't have, like as though you do. Mind can be like that, appears like that. And I'm here to tell you, it is just an illusion. As soon as you are decisive inside your heart, the mind cannot intimidate the being. It can only intimidate the person. It's the person, that aspect of being as the person, that only one can suffer. The being cannot suffer. And you are the being. This is what I see. Not for the time being.
But it's a paradox because you have to realize that you're being to realize that.
Are you backing out or what?
That's what my mind is saying.
Again, mind is your final word. Will mind always be your final word? You do all the chewing, and the mind gets the joy of swallowing, always. The Buddha is in you, but you're keeping it in the closet. You stay in the closet, because mind is in the bedroom. So don't come out until mind goes out. You can come out. Putting the microphone down can be putting down the mind or the self, which is it? I cannot do it for you. Even God cannot do it for you if you say no. If you say yes, everything is possible. If you say no, you go back to what you think you know, to the old regime of thinking. So you contemplate that. We still have a little time.